I said I'm going to share my heart, I'm going to share my real heart, how I really feel, to settle into the reality of I had everything I wanted. Instead of choosing that, I chose drugs, sex and drugs. This episode of The Recovery Couch is brought to you by Greg Swartz at Remax Victory and Affiliates. Greg brings heart, hustle, and honesty to every deal. Call Greg at 937-477-8975 today and tell him The Recovery Couch sent you. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to The Recovery Couch. I'm your host, Brandon Couch. And today we're doing another monologue. My heart's been heavy lately. And there's some things about recovery and my personal recovery that aren't standardized that I feel a type of way about. And they're important things, I think, for all of us to discuss, regardless of the fact that people are going to want to tend to correct you. Sometimes it's good to share your heart, no filter. And to be honest with you, that's one of the issues I've had with recovery, is to no fault of anybody. I'm not trying to make anybody sound bad. I think they meant well. But I spent a long time in the early stages of my recovery sharing my heart, only to receive somebody on the other end of my heart share immediately correct. And that shut me down for a long time. And sometimes it still does. I get real choosy with who I want to share my heart with. I'd rather share my heart in this microphone than share it with somebody who's going to give me an initial reaction that's knee-jerk, that they can't help, that tells me everything I wanted. Maybe I don't want it. Maybe it definitely tells me everything I need to know about how they received it. And that's been a difficult part of my recovery, is learning to trust sponsors, learning to trust people who have been through the active addiction and recovery process like I have. And I do, my personal opinion is I think that it's probably difficult for somebody in AA, somebody whose primary or drug of choice was alcohol, to receive some of the things that I've had to share with drug use. And I try to take that into consideration. But really wanting to share my heart with somebody who's just, I feel like is just going to correct me, has sent me into such a dark, negative mind state so many times that when I weigh the pros and cons of, okay, isolate and just kind of use my tools, meditation, prayer, breath work, and, isolate with these feelings, and I weigh that with, tell somebody who's just going to correct me and not even realize it, I can see the judgment, I choose to use my tools. And before I really get into kind of where my heart's at, aside from this specific topic, I kind of want to talk about judgment, because in my personal opinion, judgment plays an equal part in society as addiction. I would love to see statistics from surveys. If drug and alcohol treatment centers took surveys and they asked every person who was inbound, has judgment ever affected you in your recovery and made you go back to what was comfortable? Judgment being the stigmas or the way that people talk to you or still look at you. It doesn't matter. Recovery is a great thing, but it for real, it don't matter to a lot of people. They can put on a smiley face and tell you they're so great, but it really, like, the stigma's still there. I mean, I deal with it. I know. That's how I know, because I deal with it. It's just real. That's just real. It's not me trying to downplay anybody out here. It's just real. Let's just get real. Let's just get really real. I would love to see those statistics. How many times have you relapsed because you were trying so hard in recovery and somebody that you love or somebody you were close to said something and just made you spiral? I would love to see those statistics. I would love to. And I can hear all the naysayers, talking about, coming up with excuses on why judgment, you have to have discernment, and save that shit for somebody different. That's taking this narrative and spinning it around so you can hold on to your judgment and create that narrative. I don't even need to get off on the tangent on, yes, discernment sometimes is necessary. I don't need to get on that. It's not what we're talking about. Judgment is a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. Sometimes I do it, and I hate it when I do, because judgment has the ability to make somebody feel so shitty about themselves directly because of me, directly because of you and your judgment. That's real shit. That's real shit. But what's really on my heart is the fact that I am 103 weeks into my sobriety, 5 or 6 years into my recovery, but my complete sobriety date is a week from tomorrow. So 52 weeks is a year, add 51 because I'm a week away, 103 weeks into complete sobriety. And I'm at a point in my recovery and sobriety where it's really starting to feel like it's all for naught. For lack of a better phrase, I feel like it's all for naught. I have none of my family back. Maybe a couple texts, a couple phone calls. The relationships I do have are shallow. They're not deep, they're shallow. And somebody like me, I crave depth. If I'm in someone's presence and it's not deep, then I'm probably going to be silly. That's just who I am. Whether you like it or you don't, that's how I am. And I think that's part of the essence of how God made me. And I don't see that really changing ever. Because if I'm not talking about something that matters, something with depth, substance, why don't we just try to laugh? That's how my mind works. And there's been people who have made more of an effort than I'm making it sound like. That if they're listening would want to correct me right now, which goes all the way back to the beginning of this conversation. But there's also parts about what I'm saying that they know are true. And in this yearning for depth, my thought process will shift to one specific relationship, person who never mishandled my heart, never that I can remember, which is saying a lot. That's saying a lot. And because of my choices, my destructive decisions, my addiction, I lost that relationship. And here I am, 5 years released from prison, 2 years of complete sobriety, 103 weeks, whatever. I've made very difficult amends. I've taken pen to paper on the entirety of my addiction, relived it, processed it, digested it, published it, created this business around it. And the competitor in me wants to see this grow really bad. But what I'm slowly realizing is the only things that really truly matter to me, people that I love, people that I love the most, I've hurt to the point of what seems to be irreparable damage, not repairable, even though that's all I want. Dealing with the fact that it was my actions that created this. Distance is tough reality for me, because when I look at the entirety of my life and I realize what the issues and the traumas were that caused these types of behaviors, that caused me to run when things get hard, that caused me to avoid getting too close to people. When I go back and I examine, my youth, the hurt little boy that everybody talks about, that's when it don't seem fair. That's when this punishment don't seem fair. It is fair, but operating on myself emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, and getting to the root cause of the ailments and the pains and the outbursts, connecting the dots and being like, it makes sense. That's where it don't seem fair. And if I would have went into my marriage with this type of emotional maturity, doing these operations long ago, examining my hurts, my habits, my hangups, I would have been able to avoid allowing all this trauma to bleed and spill out onto the people I loved. But instead, it happened the way it happened. And I did bleed and spill all my traumas all over the people I loved. And I'm alone today because of it. No matter how funny I am, no matter what type of exciting vibe I bring to so many stale situations. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. That is not a pat on the back. That is just the realest shit. I'm still alone. That makes me resent recovery a little bit. Not recovery's fault. Don't get me wrong. But when I said I'm going to share my heart, I'm going to share my real heart. How I really feel. I'm hurt. I have to settle into the reality of I had everything I wanted. Instead of choosing that, I chose drugs, sex and drugs. So I guess the moral of the story is, for me, sometimes in recovery, a lot of times in recovery, the people that you start to share your heart with begin to correct you every time you seem to want to share a little bit of pain. And my theory is because it's stirring up something in them, which is okay if you admit it, because we all got shit to deal with. Whether you're 50 years sober, whether you've never touched a drink or a drug in your entire life, or whether you're one day. So we all got shit to deal with. It's okay to, man, I would have much rather have some of these people say like, man, that's stirring up something. I had one person. I don't know how, anonymity thing, I'm not going to put them out. who said, man, this is stirring up some anxiety in me I haven't felt in years. I need a break. I respected that shit. You know who you are. I think sometimes as leaders in the recovery world, it's okay to say, man, I don't know how to handle that. Because the last thing we want to do is shut down somebody who needs to share their heart, even if it's painful, even if it's stirring shit up in us. And I don't do great at that all the time either. My trust issues are so bad. Sometimes somebody might bring something up and I'm thinking, what is it? Why are they saying, is this real? Because if it ain't, deep down inside me, sometimes I want to go to blows over it. Like, are you just doing some dumb shit right now? I just don't think it should ever come to this point where I'm sharing my heart on a fucking microphone. And I hope this helps people. I hope this helps somebody. I really do. Or else I wouldn't be doing it. I had this talk with myself in the woods today, so it got some of the emotion out, and it's made it a little easier for me to talk to you about it right now. But these are the depths. These are the conversations I yearn for. And I can tell somebody something heavy, and I know they know where I'm at. I don't got to say nothing. And you know what? I don't just want somebody to be able to listen to me. I like to be that person for people too. I really do. Where you can just say something heavy and we can just let it breathe. I don't got to respond like that's heavy. That's okay too. We don't got to fix everybody's problems just because we have this title as a sponsor, just because we can quote so many phrases from the big book. And yeah, you can tell that bothers me. Not everything gets solved with a quick citation from the big book. Let's be really real for a second. We don't solve physics equations by giving Albert Einstein quotes. It's silly when you think of it that way. Being present with somebody and force feeding somebody knowledge are two totally different things. And in my humble opinion, I would rather be present with someone and I would rather someone be present with me. All the information tends to overload me and I feel overstimulated. When the bottom line is I need to learn how to love myself, forgive myself, and then ask for love and forgiveness from others, whether they give it to me or not, and make amends, be honest, and repeat this cycle and do it with a higher power, with a spiritual being, with God in my case. And repeat this cycle. That's it. At the root of it is love. Overloading people with information, not information overload. It's great to have a resource of somebody who can paraphrase something you're stumbling over your words on because you don't know how to say it, and then they can kind of quote a big book or something that summarizes it real quick. That's a good team. You're working together here. No, that type of stuff's good. But man, one-on-one, when somebody's throwing quotes at me, when somebody is solving my problems, I'm like, man, you're missing the point on what I need right now. I'm a problem solver by nature. If you don't think I beat my head against the drywall trying to figure this shit out before I came and spoke to you about it, dog, you don't know me a bit. I just need to let this shit breathe. And that's what I'm doing with this episode. I'm heartbroken. I think I've been heartbroken my whole life, which has made me seek love in a myriad of ways. That's why a lot of my stories over-sexualized. Sometimes that's how I would show love. That's what happens when you love from a broken heart, I guess. But I found one person that loved me, that real kind of love that accepts the fractures in your heart, flaws, and your goofiness, and your spontaneity, your big dreams, and kind of loves that follows you when there's red flags and probably voices in your ear that tell you not to. Type of love that does it anyway. Type of love that writes you letters every day you're gone. Type of love I knew I always wanted. Type of love I made it my life's mission to search for. And I found it. And I wasn't equipped for the job. So I broke it. I mishandled it. I hurt it. I ran from it. I did all the things a broken heart does when something gets too close, too intimate. And now that's all I want back. Didn't mean to get this emotional. Hope this is encouraging in some ways. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cry as a man. It's okay to share your heart. It's okay to be in love. It's okay to let somebody love you as a man. It's okay to be intimate and talk about feelings. And that's what I hope has encouraged you through this episode. Gosh, man, I need a tissue, and I don't have one near me, so I'm going to wrap it up. Just remember, you always have a seat right here on the recovery couch.
This episode of the Recovery Couch is brought to you by JB Davis at South Dayton Toyota. For integrity, service, and unbeatable deals, call JB and his team at 513-267-5225 and tell them the Recovery Couch sent you.